Well, hello and welcome, Broncos country. I am Kodiak Broncos, and today I am here to give you my favorite fits at every position for the Denver Broncos in this upcoming draft. And yeah, I assume I'm gonna get a handful of you in here because last night was absolutely banging, and you guys did amazing with the comments last night. So I just want to make sure that tonight is equally as good. Yep, just gonna change a couple things. And if you guys are watching on the replay, then make sure you leave a like if you enjoy. And yeah, subscribe if you're not already. And let's grow this thing. I'm at 1,500 subscribers right now, but can I get to 2,000 or no 2,000 before the NFL draft? I don't think so. That'd be really ambitious, but we'll see. We'll see. Either way, um, oh, I did not mean to send that link to the I did not mean to send that link to all my friends. I accidentally sent a link to join the show to all my friends, but I did not mean to do that. Regardless, so yep, we've got Denver Broncos late night talk on this March 1st, a week before free agency, a week before my birthday. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what St. Sean's got for me. I'm excited to see what St. Sean's got for me. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how we're going to go about this. I'm excited to see what's up in the chat. I'm excited to say hi to everyone. TW back in here, clutch with another. Uh, TW back in here, clutch with another chat. Always great to see you in my streams, TW. Yeah, back to back. You guys saw me on with Mr. Talks, David Talks Broncos earlier. Bo, Leave, and Nix. Oh my goodness, I finally get to see you in here. I know I see you a lot on Twitter, Chase, all over my uh, all over my timeline. So Malik Alexander, I appreciate your patience. Um, I appreciate your patience with us during the Alex Singleton stream. I don't really like Javon Hargrave as a replacement for JFM. The reason I don't like Javon Hargrave is because I feel like he'd be pretty expensive. Market defensive linemen are relatively expensive, which is why I think our best avenue to replacing JFM is going to come through trade. I think our best avenue to replacing John Franklin Myers is going to come through a trade. And I think our best avenue to replacing John Franklin Myers comes through, a guy that's currently in the NFL already. That's not on our team, but that's on another team right now. Um, yeah, but either way, so that's how I feel about Javon Hargrave as a replacement for JFM. Plus, Javon Hargrave is getting really up there in age. I remember he had a really, really hot year with the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of years ago. Then he got the bag with the 49ers. And if you can't succeed on the 49ers defensive line, you're probably not going to succeed on Denver's either. So, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. TW says, let's see if our supposed top 5 GM in the league does something. Listen, man, I know that everybody is a huge proponent of nothing ever happens, the nothing ever happens fan club, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't agree with that. Sorry if you guys can hear that in the background. I was rewatching the stream I just did with David talking about Alex Singleton. But either way, enough dunking on Alex Singleton tonight. I'm just going to keep it strictly draft, and I'm going to keep it strictly free agency and guys that we could potentially add, especially because the combine's right now. The combine's going on right now, and I would love for y'all to leave your thoughts, obviously, and I would love for um you know I would love for just all this to come to fruition. Nothing ever happens. FC, stand up. You guys got your victory. You guys got your victory at the trade deadline, but hopefully, I mean, the Broncos, they're pretty aggressive in free agency. And I think one of the cop outs for last year's draft was we're not a draft team, we're a free agency team, which was stupid. But we do generally go chips in on free agents. So that'll be interesting to see. But while we're waiting on some people to join in here, I do want to talk about some of my favorite fits at every position for Denver. Now, why is the Arizona Wildcats logo next to the Denver Broncos logo in my little thing right there? The reason that is the case is because I am an Arizona fan and there's no Arizona players on this, but I don't know. The Arizona logo is really, really sick. So I thought I would give that to you guys in this. So talking about running backs, man, my favorite day one fit for the Broncos is Mike Washington. I've been comparing this guy to Jonathan Taylor. I've been saying that the Broncos probably will need to trade up to get this guy. Maybe not to the mid-teens, which is what I initially said on Twitter. And guys, I was just trolling when I put that tweet out not very long ago. I think it was about a couple weeks ago where I was like, the Broncos need to trade up into the middle rounds to see if they can get Mike Washington. And they don't need to do that. Trust me, they don't need to do that. All right, day two, one of my favorite fits for the Broncos is Katron Allen, man. Katron Allen is really, really good, and I think he's definitely above Jonah Coleman for me. Like, I really like Jonah Coleman. I like his game. I like what he brings, but I think Katron Allen just has that much more juice as a runner. And I think somebody with pure runner juice is exactly what this team needs. I think Katron is like 5'11, 217. I don't know if he actually ended up testing at the combine. Wait, hold on. If he did, I missed it because I was working while the running backs were testing. So it looks like Katron Allen did not. Um, looks like he didn't run the 40, but um, we'll see. And then there's another thing. There's another Penn State blog that said Katron Allen is not, uh, built to do whatever. Yeah, dude. Arizona had Tenero McMillan, Jonah Coleman, and Noah Fafita. Yeah. And the funny thing is their secondary was arguably even nastier. And their tight end this upcoming year, I don't think he's a senior. I don't think he's like draft eligible or whatever, but I would really like him if he was. Um, I think he's converting to whiteout actually, but either way, he's listed as a receiver, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll get through that. But either way, I'm really interested to see how all these guys end up fitting into the NFL, and I think they all really fit with the Broncos. So day 3, Jamari Taylor. If you guys haven't watched him, like I don't think he has a true bell cow skill set, but he is sick, dude. Jamari Taylor is really, really dynamic just as a pure runner, and he kind of reminds me of Devon Claiborne, where I don't think these guys will be like true bell cows, but these guys are pretty dope. Like when you just turn on the tape and you just watch them. Oh yeah, yeah. Miles Smith. Oh man, I gotta get you on again. Damn, dude, I joined if this was another open mic, but if I didn't have work at 6 a.m., have a good stream. Yeah, have a good day at work tomorrow. I know, have a good day lugging beer. But yeah, we streamed earlier. And once again, I don't want to like beat a dead horse and talk about Alex Singleton for an hour again. That was crazy. I can't believe me and David had the mental fortitude to actually go for that long and just talk about Alex Singleton. That was absolutely crazy to me. But either way, yeah, Miles, always cool to see you in here as well. But either way, just gonna run down my list. So my favorite wide receiver day 1 for the Broncos is Omar Cooper Jr. I really like Omar Cooper Jr. I think he's like DJ Moore in a sense where he gives you a lot of yak. He gives you a lot of creative ways that he can win. And I feel like he's just adding something that we don't already have on this team. Okay, we don't have a separation like uh big catch radius, short intermediate guy who could also give some yak. Like that's Omar Cooper's game. And I don't think we have that. Okay, we have Troy Franklin, but he doesn't provide much with the ball in his hands. Even though even if he is a good like intermediate to deep separator, we have Marvin Mims who looks to have capped out as a gadget so far at the NFL level. Could he take another step forward? Sure. But we also have Pat Bryant, who is best going to be deployed as a power slot, who, he's just always the guy that makes the play when the ball is thrown his way. And then we have Cortland Sutton, who the offense runs through. And yeah, go trade for Tremaine Edmonds from Chicago, says Biggie Bronco. I don't know if Edmonds is going to like be available. Wait, did they say he was? Because I know that they were I don't oh yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Either way, that'd be interesting because I remember he was super duper young coming out of the draft. And I remember Tremaine Edmonds was very, very young. Um, when he was entering the draft, I think 2018, I think Buffalo took him 16th overall that draft because I remember they had 2 picks and they traded up, I think, for both Allen and for both Tremaine Edmonds. And while he never really hit his stride, there's always going to be value in players that have a lot of playing experience and guys that are really, really uh, athletically gifted. And I think that's the kind of prospect that Tremaine Edmonds is. So, yeah, man, I think that's where I'm kind of at with Tremaine Edmonds. He'd be fun. He would be fun. I think anything to keep Alex Singleton off the field, man. Um, but either way, so a couple more of my favorite fits for the Broncos. Yeah. Katron snatched Singleton's RB1 chain at Penn State. And while I think Katron had a really, really nice year this past year, Singleton also like completely cratered his draft stock. I think that was kind of alarming how bad he looked. I think that was like kind of crazy how insanely pedestrian Nick Singleton looked while he was at Penn State this past year because Nick Singleton was one of those guys that people were legitimately talking about getting day 2 buzz last year. Like, had he come out last year, there's a legitimate chance that he gets drafted in between Henderson and Harvey, which was, I think, 38th to 60th overall, if I want to say. But either way, so that's what I kind of think about that. It's just kind of interesting that Nick Singleton had like it was like 6'4", 224, had a true three-down skill set, and he just couldn't make it work this past year. But yeah, no, Katron Allen is really good. And the thing I like about Katron Allen is he makes something out of nothing. Like there are times where I'm legitimately like, okay, this guy's dead in the water, and then he like scampers off for a 50, 60-yard gain, and I'm just like, how? I'm just like, how? How did he go that far? But yeah, I like Katron Allen. I think, a lot of people said that he's not built to tear up the combine. I entirely disagree. I think uh, if he had tested, he would have been completely fine. But yeah. Oh, wow. I realized StreamYard makes my fingers look longer than they actually are. Damn, I got them Slenderman hands. Yeah, but You know, he did snatch Singleton's RB1 chain at Penn State. Aiken to Aqib Talib snatching the chain from Crabtree, I should say. But either way, going back to the wide receivers, I just think Omar Cooper just provides an all-around skill set that this team currently doesn't have. Like that's why I'm kind of in on him. Like Boston doesn't really provide something we don't already have. Like I think Boston's a really good separator for his size, but I also think KC is a really good separator for his size, but also I feel like I'm not really trusting all these guys to really, really, do that and just go absolutely berserk or whatever. But yeah, either way. Um, what am I gonna do? There was something I wanted to do. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm going to just load up some college football, and you guys are gonna watch me play college football real quick. I'm gonna connect my stream I'm gonna connect my my gaming streaming service to this, and then we're just gonna talk some Broncos. But either way, the other guys that I really like are Skylar Bell and Bryce Lance. I think both those guys are really cool. Skylar Bell in particular, I thought he won a lot at UConn. I really liked his separation ability. Also ran a 4.4 flat. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. This guy, in my opinion, is one of my round two favorites. I really, really like him because once again, I'm looking for guys that provide unique traits to the Denver Broncos. And Skylar Bell is one of those like how do I put this? Like boom bust big play guys um, who can also get open in the intermediate short part of the field. And that's what I really want from this team. I just really want a guy who can, just overall do better in the short intermediate part of the field. Like that's just what I'm asking for when it comes to our game, when it comes to uh, how we can improve this offense in general. And yeah, overall, that's just what I have to say about that. And it's just interesting because oh yeah, I'm for sure Skylar Bell FC. Hell yeah, TW. That's awesome. That is awesome, my friend. But yeah, um, let's see. There was something else that I was gonna do. Okay, yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I can stream from what's it called? Or no, I can hold on. Look, y'all. If I want to remove myself from the screen, I can literally uh edit my capture card and I can plug it in and we can play some college football. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I don't think anybody just wants to watch me play video games or whatever. You guys came to watch me talk. So I'm going to do a little bit better for you guys, but I thought that was pretty cool as well. There we go. All right. But either way, so TW says, I'm for sure Skylar Bell FC. Send a fifth round draft pick for Chicago for Tremaine Edmonds. Bring him in, restructure his deals so that cap hit ain't too bad this year. You know what? I think you might be onto something. I think, obviously the cap hit for Skylar Bell isn't that bad this upcoming year. I mean, actually, I think it is actually pretty wild for a guy that they're going to move on from. I think it's $17 million a year. So, um, ignore me saying that the cap hit wasn't like too bad or anything because that's just straight up wrong. And that's all I feel about that. But you know what? You're kind of like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. The only thing is, like, I don't think Chicago's just not in a position like the Saints are, like the Arizona Cardinals are, to just eat a bunch of dead cap or if they move on for a team because they're also in a Super Bowl window with their young quarterback and with their rookie quarterback, or I should say, guy who's going to be entering the third year of his deal. Like Caleb Williams is a fantastic football player, so they need to do everything they can to maximize that. All right, and then All right. My goat, Kaiser Gordon, always coming in with the late night heat. Love it. Love it. And hi, Drabo, as well. I know that you are going to love the Arizona logo that I put in the top of my slideshow. Got to draft Jennings Dunker after seeing that froze sheesh. Imagine the mullet and the belly as guards on our team, dude. As far as like uh, you know, it's so funny because I actually didn't like Jennings Dunker that much, but, because I saw a handful of clips where he just looked so slow, but I think a lot of that was because he was not the same player once he tore his meniscus, so I really, really wanted to make sure I was doing right by him, and I do wanna eventually end up watching the Iowa offensive line when I do have a chance to, like, actually watch him and see, like, evaluate him and see if he's, like, good and see if he's somebody that I think would be worth taking. I'm currently on the linebackers, and I'm only through Jacob Rodriguez and CJ Allen, but, also CJ Allen is low-key kind of like a tougher eval than I thought because he plays the 3-3-5 tight in the Georgia defense, which is the same defense I run when I play college football, where the inside linebacker is always, like, engaging with the nose tackle or whatever, but yeah. But either way, hi, Drabo. It's always cool to see you in here. Always cool to see you as well. I think, obviously Dunker has a lot of aura, but I need to actually like evaluate before I really give my opinion on him and if I really like him for the Broncos. All right. So I have already kind of talked about Skylar Bell, but Bryce Lance, okay. I think Bryce Lance, I didn't think he won enough, like just on pure routes against FCS corners. He didn't do a lot of a lot of real route running, and honestly, he didn't really need to at North Dakota State. But even when he did, I wasn't really that impressed with him. So he is definitely a developmental player. But I think the tools are there. I think he's really fun. I think 4.36 speed at whatever it was 6'3", 209. A lot of people are comparing him to Christian Watson, and uh, I think Christian Watson was a better deep ball player. I think Watson's just a better deep threat than because Christian Watson as a deep threat was legitimately unsustainable when he first came into the NFL. But I think Bryce Lance is like a more get the ball in his hands and just let him go sort of guy. And I would really, really like to see us go after him, even though he is my wide receiver 18. And also I do have my prospect rankings. I do have all my prospect rankings, in my slideshow. So everything from tight ends to running backs, you can look at these and see how I felt about these players. But I'm going to go back to Jamari Taylor real quick. And all you got to know is that he really punches above his weight contact wise. He's one of the best missed tackle running backs in the entire class. And I feel like his tight in space ability is really good. And so is his ability to catch the football coming out of the backfield. And honestly, had he been a little bit better at pass protection, I had more than 1 year of great production, I would have had him pretty high on my list. I think he played his college ball at North Carolina Central or something like that before he transferred to the Virginia Cavaliers. I think he walked on to Virginia legitimately, which is just crazy to think about. But either way, Jamari Taylor is one of my favorite, day three guys in this process. I think he kind of goes around where Tootin went last year, where he went round four. But either way, those are my favorite guys at every position of need for the Broncos in the 2026 draft so far. And I know that we have a lot of time to talk about the draft, but yeah, um, move your middle linebacker up at 16th and inch over the top of the right guard. Yep. That's basically how the tight defense was played at Georgia. CJ Allen's kind of a tricky eval because of that. Like, there are a lot of times where I'm just like, okay, his instincts look good. There are times where I'm just like, wow, I can't believe he didn't follow the play fake. But yeah, yeah. Besantis or Rutledge would be nice Powers replacements. Yep, I agree with you. The thing about Besantis is you probably have to use your first round pick on him, and I don't know if the team would want to use their first round pick on a guard. I would like it if they did, but Rutledge, he stuck out to me. He sticks out to you when you watch Haynes King. Um, he's pretty good. I like him. Yeah, yeah. No, that I would definitely get on board with that. But I think I think the best bang for your buck in this class, I think there's a lot of decent guards that intrigue me in the middle rounds. So I don't know if the Broncos would want to go interior offensive line at that spot, but they got lucky, honestly, with the fact that Quinn Miners was a day one plug and play starter. But what do I know? But what do I know? I'm surprised they straight up cut Graham Glasgow. I think they should have kept him. And honestly, I think, Powers has been a good Bronco. Like, he's definitely provided stability, but he's like He kind of just needs to be, how do I put this? I'm not gonna say get rid of him, but I just think we could just upgrade at that spot. Um, we didn't look as good on the offensive line once he went out initially, but that was because Parrott looked awful. And we got, like, I want to say 80% of the same play from Alex Palczewski. So the decision wasn't really that hard to move on from Ben Powers if they do decide to do that. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Either way, there's another couple of guys, like, I will make slides for a lot of the defensive players that are coming up here pretty soon. I just want to do them a better service and actually watch them play a little bit more than I already have right now. Um, yeah, I think these guys are just overall in general, just it's a fun class. It's a really fun class, and I can't wait to see what comes of it. Either way, um, you know, the combine, I know it's hard to like not get wrapped up in the combine, and free agency is next week. And I know we're all already thinking NFL draft, but I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what we all do. I can't wait to see like the avenues that we could go during the draft. Because, dude, the draft is legitimately my Christmas, and free agency, Christmas Eve, my birthday, March 9th. And also, the best thing about my birthday, guys, is that it's usually around daylight savings. It's usually around daylight savings time, which is sick. Like, that is an epic birthday present to have my birthday present be an extra hour of sunlight because ultimately my mental health just skyrockets. And we haven't really had a bad winter here in Colorado. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to deck out my wall with more stuff too, guys. Like while I'm waiting on some more comments, I just want to say that I do want to like deck out my wall with a little bit more stuff. Jersey wall is cool, but I don't know. I think it just needs a little something extra. I think it needs like it needs more stuff from my other favorite teams, I think. Even though I know I pretty much exclusively talk Broncos, I think maybe an Avs jersey. I'm definitely gonna get something Arizona Wildcats. Um, we'll see. We'll see there. But either way, about a handful of you in here, 13 of you in here on this lovely 10:14 post meridian edition of Denver Broncos Late Night Talk. And man, I've really enjoyed doing this with y'all. I think it's so much fun when we get to talk. Jackson says, I'm with you. The lack of daylight sucks. Yeah, the lack of daylight does suck. See, the thing is, I do agree that the lack of daylight does suck, but this winter has been very mild in Colorado, so we've gotten lucky there. But yeah, man, like once it's kind of like once November hits, the seasonal depression starts. And I think seasonal depression wasn't that big this year because it was really, really warm in Colorado, but still. The thing about getting a helmet is that I feel like I don't have any place to put it. Okay. I feel like with a helmet, the only issue with that is I don't have like a shelf. Like I could technically hang it up because all my stuff is literally just hanging on nails back there. And also, you guys can see that my jerseys have like hangers or whatever. But the problem with that is that I don't know. Wait, let me see if I can find a helmet. I think I already have enough Broncos stuff back there, so I think I want it to be an Arizona helmet. Let's see if I can get one. Yeah, that's sick. Okay. Yo, what if I got a signed Ted McMillan helmet? Would you guys think this would be tough for my background? Hold on. You guys think this would be tough for my background? I think that'd be sick. It's $50 off right now too. Use code roster. All right. Either way, I love this Arizona helmet. I would want let's see what else we got. I don't need like an autographed one, but yeah. Either way, I'll get back to some of your comments. Yeah, that would be clean. But also, I know David, the thing is there's a lot of overlap with the Buffs and the Broncos fan base. There's not that much overlap between the Broncos and the Wildcats fan base. So yeah, Big Citrus would be awesome for us. The problem with Big Citrus, like I agree, TW, but I don't think Vance Joseph wants to run his defense like the way I don't think he wants to run it with a big fat two gapper, which is what Dominique Citrus is. And he just doesn't provide enough as a pass rusher to where I think he'd be worth taking for us. Like, I think we do need a defensive lineman, like an actual nose, a big fat two gapper. But I don't think Vance Joseph wants to run that. You know, I remember we did that with Kyle Pico uh, when Vance Joseph was the head coach. So it's not impossible. It's not out of the question. But for roster spot's sake, I don't know, man. Locked On Broncos suggested Tillman put on weight and move to the D end. How do you feel about that? That sounds feasible because he is big. Like, I think he looks really, really big. I think he's only 250, but he looks 270, 280. The problem is, I think if asking a guy to put on 30 pounds of weight in an offseason is a lot. You know, and that's what Savion is right now. And he's considered undersized for that position. So I don't think realistically you could do it this upcoming offseason. Like you could see where he gets, but you would lose so much juice adding uh what is that? 1/4 of your body mass? No, it's not a quarter. How much what do you need to sorry, I'm bad at math. Okay, 1/5 of your body mass. Asking him to put on like, I don't know, a fifth or a sixth of his current body mass, that would be a lot. So I have my concerns on whether or not that would be actually be realistically possible. The only way that's realistically possible is if I'm trying to think. Where did he play at college? Okay, he played at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. So maybe he played fatter there, but I don't know. I'm not really too keen on that idea. I love snow and rain weather, so I don't feel with y'all, and I love it being dark when I wake up. It doesn't feel like the day is gone yet. Um, yeah, like listen, I don't like precipitation. I like sun. I like it when it's bright and sunny outside. That being said, what was I trying to say? I like it hasn't snowed much in Colorado this winter, so that's why I want it to snow a little bit. Everybody's saying that's clean. You know, everybody's saying that the Wildcats helmets are fire. You know, they like it just without the signature. Yes, that is true. Biggie Bronco says if you move your linebacker up top overtopping the right guard's left shoulder just a hair, the tackle will pull off and set the edge on a blitz. Um, you know what? Interesting schematic approach. I kind of like that. But trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should add to my background. Trying to think. Rally House. Have you guys been to Rally House? They have a bunch of really cool stuff. They have a lot of really cool stuff. And hold on, let me see because I'm gonna see if there's anything that would like strike my fancy for um putting in my putting in my background. This is $260. Good job. Guys, is this chair worth $1,149.99? Like, come on. Wait, is this couch worth dude, come on. They're robbing people. They literally just slapped the Broncos on there. They literally just slapped the Broncos logo on there and they're charging people $2,000 for it. Like, come on. I could literally go to IKEA and get something more comfortable right now. Like, am I crazy or does that seem absurd to me? Like, I know this is probably like this got to be a big couch. This has to be a big couch if they're charging $2,000 for it. But even then, it doesn't look that big in the picture. What? Am I crazy? Damn. That won't take up most space and they can be your teams. Oh, yeah. You know what? Flags are right. You know, flags, you're right. Yeah. Mikey coming in laughing. Only Chubb spy. It's all leather. Dude, even that's like $2,000 for that. Like, I'm looking at what I can improve my background with, and good lord. Oh, Jesus. All right, I'll go back to here. I'll go back to my slideshow. That was crazy. That was legitimately absurd. That was fake leather? Yeah, I'm with you, Jackson. Like, that was some fake leather. Either way, there was a guy I wanted to talk about, Dean Connors. Uh, this is another guy that I feel like is just a straight up baller. Now, maybe I just like my white football players a little too much, as you can see with the Riley Moss jersey in the background. I don't know why Dean Connors didn't get a combine invite, but he's sick, man. He is really good, and I can't wait to see what he does at the Houston Pro Day because it'll be sick. Whoever put that price on that thing needs belt. You're right. You're right. Nah, just in general, like, I'm just wondering how to improve my background because I mean, I like this, but I just want it to be a little bit more full, if that makes sense. And I do have a TV. Like, hold on. I can show you like my setup. My setup, I have the TV monitoring the stream over there. Like, that's the actual TV that I do. And then this is my bed. Like, this is my bed. So I have like that for my recording software. Yeah, you are correct. I'm still just using the default, like, webcam on my Mac because I do have a camera, but, like, I've had some problems, like, setting it up. It always, like, blurs in and out, and I just don't really I'm not really happy with the quality that it really goes to, but yeah. Either way, it's kinda how I'm feeling about that. I think flags you're right. I think flags would be a much better, hold on, I'm trying to look for the slide I initially had because that's what I came on here to talk about, like, my favorite draft target for the Broncos at every position. All right, cool. Here we go. Okay, either way, who is your guy in this draft? Like, drafted tomorrow and you're getting his jersey the next day? Yes, Raritan. Um, I think honestly, I'd probably get Mike Washington like right off rip. But also, if we were to do another gimmick pick, I think that'd be funny and I'd kind of lean into it. Like if we were to take Caleb Lohner again, I'd probably get his jersey, even as much as we all hated that pick. Or I don't know if you guys like hated that pick as much as the rest of us did, but yeah, probably Raritan. Probably Raritan. Kojal is somebody like all these tight ends I'm interested in. I'd be happy with Jolie. I'd be happy with Andrews. I'd be happy with ah. I don't really like Roush's game as much as everybody else. But yeah, probably Eli Raritan. He's sick. He's sick. And Tanner Kojal is going to go early day 3, I assume, because of the production profile, but yeah. Skylar Bell is somebody actually, not Skylar Bell. I love Skylar Bell out of UConn. He's so good. He's so good. You know what? Maybe I do need to get a Delp jersey if they draft him. Maybe just whatever tight end they draft, I will get their jersey, like, no questions asked. But either way, so I haven't really talked about the tight ends. I've already talked about, Omar Cooper adding something to this offense that we don't already have. I've already talked about Skylar Bell out of UConn. I've already talked about Bryce Lance out of North Dakota State being a dynamic threat with the ball in his hands. But my favorite tight end fits, like Kenyon Sadiq is the only one that I think will actually go round 1. So I kinda just put him there, like, as a default, like, I don't even think he's that good of a fit for the Broncos, but I kinda just put him for this exercise sake. Day 2, Justin Joly. I think Joly moves super duper sick for 6'2", 260 as his listed size, and man, he tore it up. He tore it up, this past weekend, so I was really happy for him. Or he didn't even do the 40, but he ran a really, really nice gauntlet. Um And Tanner Kojal is very, very productive as a receiver. Like, I have questions on if he can actually be a blocker, but he tore it up at the combine. Uh, Big arms, so he definitely checks that box as well. I think his game translates really well to the NFL level as well. Sigo Endris was for Mendoza at Cal is what made me fall in love. You know what? Endris was really good when he was with Cal with Mendoza. Same with another guy, Jaden Ott. Like Jaden Ott, Endries, and Mendoza, they tore it up. They absolutely tore it up. So yeah, no, I get it. I get it from that perspective. I think Endries was really dynamic as a receiver, but this past year at Texas, he really didn't get that chance until the second half of the year, the back half of the year. So that was something that kind of gave me a little bit of pause. That was something that kind of gave me some pause because I was like, I don't really know, but yeah. But then talking about the other guys, like talking about the defensive lineman, Peter Woods, holy cow. What a disastrous combine. Um, now Peter Woods' arm length is very short, but I think his stock kind of tanked because I think the if it is true that he broke his foot again, then that's kind of problematic. Man, why the fuck didn't we take Derek Harmon last year? That's what I want to know. I love Derek Harmon. I love, 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 love Derek Harmon. I'm sad we didn't take him, but whatever. What do I know? What do I know? Either way, I thought Woods would be heavier. Hold on, I need to dissect this really quick. Kodiak, if you do say that like online against other individual, say that progress. Highlight their number one receiver where the safety. If you do say that, try to understand this. So wait, let me. If you do say that progress a game, if you're playing online, oh, so like what? Oh, you're talking about in the video game. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense, Biggie Bronco. I finally know what you're getting at now. You're talking about in the video game. Like, bracket their number one safety. Yeah, dude. Derek Harmon fan club. I love, love, love Derek Harmon. I'm gonna see. I wonder. I don't think I have any like. I don't think I have any slides still left over from last year, but this would be interesting if I still had something about Derek Harmon. Let's see. Do I have him? Okay, I don't have anything about Derek Harmon, but I remember I did a lot of work on him last year. I really, really liked him. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pull up my Derek Harmon stuff from last year because I think I'm gonna bring up the film from last year because he was good. He was really, really good. We're gonna watch Derek Harmon film as a prospect together. And I mean, I know it might break my heart in the fact that we didn't get him, but hold on. Trust me, I promise you guys. I promise you. All right. We're in theater mode. I don't remember any of these clips, but I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see. All right, and I do have my face in the bottom right again. All right, there's gonna be no audio with this, so we're just gonna do a Derek Harmon breakdown together. All right, when did I start this? Okay, I talked for about an hour. Oh my god, that's just filthy, dude. Wait, okay, watch him. Watch him right here. Okay, we're gonna slow mo this. Okay, Derek Harmon right here, Oregon number 95. Watch him engage and watch him. I remember this play because I was just like, holy cow, that is filthy. Now Genty ends up running away from him, but holy cow, this dude was a monster, dude. Oh my goodness. Like this is just flat out winning. That's just a flat out ball player right there. Dude can beat out my demon Chris Abrams Drain for playing time. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Harmon was an animal. He was. He was. I really like had I turned in the pick at 20, I would have taken Derek Harmon, and I think it would have made a lot of sense based on where we are on the D line right now, as opposed to corner. And not enough people are talking about who's going to replace JFM because it's not going to be Savion, guys. We can't rely on a guy who has 33 career snaps to instantly come in and play one of the most important roles in the defense. We're not. He was the only defensive player I wanted, dude. Like he was so 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 good. Next year, Oregon got some fantastic defensive tackles coming out too. They do. Bear Alexander. I wanted Nolan or Harmon. I felt a little bit better. Oh, Harmon is number 95. Sorry, I didn't highlight him. Harmon's like the one, you know, or he is number 55, but he's the one right here. Uh, just flat out winning. 55, I should say. I called him number 95, but yeah. All right. We've got more Derek Harmon right here. Okay, I don't remember this play exactly either, but looks like they try to double team him. I don't even know why I'm going down this rabbit hole, but I loved what he was able to do. He was able to stay square. Like this kind of agility and flexation is just special for a guy 6'5", 320. I legitimately thought he was like Aaron Donald reincarnated. And look, like they try to get inside, but he just won too easily. And I'm trying to think. Pittsburgh. Yes. Harmon's in Pittsburgh. I thought he was talking about. Look at Casey, so inspirational, dude. I know. I thought we'd get Henderson. I didn't think we'd get Trevion Henderson per se, but I did think we'd go running back early, and I guess we went, but Harvey was kind of the one. Harvey kind of surprised me. Okay, so he gets hands on Genty. I don't think he ends up making the tackle in this clip, but he does enough to slow Genty down. Like, that was one of the biggest problems with Harmon is I didn't like his finishing at all. Like, literally, just watch this. Like, he has Genty wrapped up right here, and then he just gets shut it off. So I get why he was going to fall because his finishing ability, like, actually wasn't that good, but still, he was a beast, man. He was such a beast. All right, we've got more Boise State Derek Harmon film, and all right, what happens here? Like, this number 78 dude spent so much time. Watch this. This is just hold on. I'm gonna play back speed 0.5 this. All right, watch this right here. This is just absurd. Like, dude, what is that? You're telling me the Broncos didn't want this? You're telling me the Broncos didn't want this? Like, look at Derek Harmon just completely obliterate the dude. Oh my goodness. That is special right there, man. And I feel like Harmon was a better prospect than everybody that's going to be available in this draft at the interior defensive lines. That is kind of painful right there, but let's see what else we got. What else you got for me, Derek Harmon? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm kind of just beating a dead horse. 104.3 kept telling the fans that we'd get Henderson. That's interesting. I remember at Collier Shot Day on 104.3. I remember Marquee Sports literally called in the day of and was like, no, I don't want them to take running back. I want them to take receiver or D line. Gian Campbell would have been sick. Man, at this point, if it were to keep Alex Singleton off the field, I would be all for it. If it were to keep Alex Singleton off the field, I would be all for it. Yeah, like, look. Oh, my God. He's just filthy. Derek Harmon is filthy, dude. Now, Genty ends up getting around, like, kinda getting around him, but he ends up running into a wall of ducks. Bryce Betcher out of Oregon is somebody who I'm really, really interested in as well because he can, call the defense and whatever. Okay. Watch Derek Harmon against Quinshon right here. I think he sheds this Ohio State guy. I don't remember all these clips really that well. He was at least able to maintain his gap integrity. That was something I really liked about him, and I felt like the pass rushing juice was so crazy. Like, this guy's special, man. Like, look, he looks completely washed in the sauce, and then he is still able to get Judkins wrapped up. Like, he literally just teleports through the number 77 right here. Watch number 77 on Ohio State and watch Derek Harmon. Holy cow. I don't even know why I'm going down this rabbit hole with you guys, man. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Either way, Eagles, they are some greedy bastards at the linebacker spot. With Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall, and whoever else, like, yeah, they are. They are. But either way, so I think I was talking about the defensive lineman, and I got a little sidetracked. That's what led me to go down the Derek Harmon rabbit hole. Either way, I've already talked about all these positions. So you've got Kaden Sadiq, Justin Jolie, Tanner Kojal as well. D-line, Peter Woods, Grayson Haltman, DeMonte Capehart. So one thing, we got two defensive linemen from Clemson on this list, and I really, really like Peter Woods. The problem is, he kind of has, I wouldn't say he's played himself out of the range, or out of like the first round, but I think he definitely didn't do himself that many favors when he was at the NFL Combine. And I know that athleticism just isn't concrete. It's not just, hey, go out there and just be the best athlete and, whatever. Because ultimately there's a lot more to playing defensive tackle than that. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I was hoping he would be a little bit longer than 31 and a half, but we'll see. I thought his pass rushing needed work, and I thought his run defense was good. I thought his run defense was perfectly fine for what it was. Either way, guys, do you guys want me to buy that leather Broncos couch? I'm trying to find Peter Woods' athletic score. See, the thing about Peter Woods, though, is that you look at all the guys that have been really good, like production profile wise at the defensive line. Um, you've basically got Grady Jarrett, who was great with Atlanta, and then he's still churning away at the NFL. You got Mason Graham, who was the 5th overall pick last year by the Cleveland Browns. You've got Jonathan Allen, you've got DeForest Buckner, you've got Travis Jones and Jeffrey Simmons. So this is basically like if I'm turning in the card right now, it's Peter Woods. And yeah, dude, I'm not fucking buying that bullshit for $2,000. That is so funny. I can't believe they actually sell that. That's insane. Who buys that? That's what I want to know. Do you think Dobbins is coming back? I do. I think if I were to bet money on it, I would say that they probably do end up re-signing him because continuity and like leadership and being a good culture guy goes a really long way. I will buy the red Arizona helmet. I think I've decided on that. The only thing is, how am I going to hang it up? Because I don't know if I'm going to clip it on here. I'm not going to I'm not going to get the one with the Tedero McMillan signature, but I do want to get one of those. Also, are there any jerseys I should get? Like, do you guys have any ideas for suggestions for jerseys? So we got Moss, we've got Hufunga, we've got Palcho, we've got Emmanuel Sanders, we've got Singleton. So do you guys have any suggestions? One of my other favorite ones was Abram Strain. I was thinking about it. And trust me, guys, I don't want to go basic either. That's why I want to get like all these like different ones, except Hufunga, I know is a little basic, but still. I will maybe put a shelf on my wall. Not the worst idea in the world. It's like Mike Carmelini's background. Have you guys seen Mike Carmelini's background? Either way, I feel like I should zoom in a little bit more on this Twitter thing. Yeah, but this is as translatable as it gets for defensive line prospects. And I would love, love, love to take Peter Woods in the first round. I want to see how he measures out. I want to see how he ultimately. What am I saying? I want to see. There was something I wanted to see. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I want to watch his interviews. Yes, I agree. A lot of his injuries from bad luck. Like, yes, the injury that he had this past year was bad luck, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I get it. It doesn't change the fact that it happened. It does suck for him, whatever. I go back and forth with it, but he is due some better luck. That being said, he's just never been a guy that you can rely on to be healthy. He got hurt before the 2021 season began. I remember he tore his Achilles. Trust me, I know everything about Dobbins because I've owned Dobbins in 2 dynasty leagues ever since he was a rookie. So I drafted Dobbins. I was like, yes, I got this awesome rookie. And then 2021, he tears his Achilles before the season begins. 2022, I think he came back, but he wasn't as effective in the back half of the year. 2023, I felt like he was going to be good. And then, he tore his Achilles in the first game of the year against uh, Houston, I want to say. Yeah, it was 2023, first game against Houston. I remember that was CJ Stroud's first start, and he tore his Achilles. Then 2024, he goes to the Chargers, and he tears it up, man. And Dobbins says he's a top 5 running back when he's healthy. And you know what? The metrics don't disagree, man. He was on pace to rush for like 1,300, 1,400 yards, man. So it's just crazy. I wish you could put like Dobbins' brain in like Mike Washington's body. Like that'd be so, so, so fire. Or even like his brain in RJ's body because RJ was really fast and he was really good as a playmaker, but he wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, he needs to, like, go do witchcraft to his body or something at this point. Uh, yeah. Either way, Grayson Halton is one of those guys that I think really fits us as well. Um, let's see what he measured in at. Grayson Halton, so I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, 6'2", 293, but special athleticism for that position. Thing is, Woods has one of the best production profiles for that spot. So I just hope that Woods can, do whatever. And I'm gonna have to watch Devontae Capehart because man, I'm gonna have to watch more of him at least. Because I've watched plenty of him so far. And he was impressive, but yeah, we'll see. Dobbins is worth the risk, I agree, but yes, we do. We do have to have a solid backup for him. And that's just the unfortunate reality of, J.K. Dobbins is that he's just never been a guy that you could rely on ultimately to do that. So Oklahoma's defense was crazy, man. My cousin, she goes to Oklahoma, and I saw her we went to Penn State, Ohio State, we went to Columbus. Um, with all my extended family, and she said, "We're, like, number whatever in education at number 50," and I was like, "Yeah, but you're number 1 in defense." Speaking of Oklahoma, uh, speaking of Oklahoma defense, guys, R. Mason Thomas, come on, come on. I remember I saw people saying, "R. Mason Thomas is better than Benito," when he was coming out. Come on, dude, 4.67? Come on, come on. 4.67 for a speed rusher? Who was better than Benito coming out as a prospect? I can't remember who said it. I remember I was listening to the Athletic draft show, and I think one of them comped him to Benito because he was a speed rusher from Oklahoma. And I think R. Mason has dreads too. And I was like, nah way. This is ridiculous. Like, even as a prospect, I still thought probably go with Benito. And Benito was pretty undersized, and there were like questions as to how his game would translate. Either way. Yeah. So then what else? Devontae Capehart, gonna have to watch more of him, but he was an absolute freak in the draft. So I needed to do that. I've already kind of talked about the linebackers, and we're gonna go over them. CJ Allen was somebody who, like I said, was a tricky evaluation. CJ Allen was a very, very tricky evaluation because he plays in the Georgia defense, which is a really tough system to evaluate because basically what you're doing when you're the tight safety or the tight Mike linebacker is you're basically engaging with the interior offensive line every play. So it's good that he has the toughness and the fortitude to play in the trenches, but you don't really see a whole lot of like NFL linebacker stuff going on. Are you talking about R. Mason or are you talking about CJ Allen? Because yeah, that's one of those things where I'm just like, I think it's a little odd, but we'll see. We'll see. The Torian York, man, he's undersized, but this guy is so good. He has good instincts. He plays really well for the position. And Bryce Betcher, man, if you want a guy who can call the defense and be a good locker room guy and be a kind person off the field, then Bryce Betcher is your guy. Bryce Betcher's your guy, and everybody like talks about like his work ethic or whatever. And yeah, so that's why I think he's your dude. I'll go for probably 5 more minutes. I don't know if I should put God. I feel like the people that come to my channel looking for like long form content would be disappointed because I do spend a lot of time just messing around with my Broncos talk, with my late night Broncos talk. But maybe I need to do more like live videos if that makes sense. Where I have like my slideshow and I have my thing. I think at 9 a.m. tomorrow I'm gonna post like like handful of guys who I think really fit the Broncos. Um, I'm gonna post like everything you need to know about certain free agents, and I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but Either way, I'm starting to fade. Starting to get tired, even though I don't go to bed until like 6 a.m., but I had to get up at 10:30 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. for work today, which doesn't happen a whole lot, guys. My sleep schedule is terrible. My sleep schedule is so bad. But either way, you know what? Actually, I just think I'm gonna get out of here. I think we only got 9 people viewing me, and I've gone twice tonight, once with David and once by myself. So I'll say goodnight to y'all. I'll say goodnight to y'all. But either way, pleasure having y'all in the chat. I love doing this with you guys, whenever I can. So it is going to be so much fun to see what we can do going forward for the Denver Broncos. And either way, yeah, these are my favorite fits for at every position for the Denver Broncos in the 2026 draft. But yeah, good night, TW. I will see you probably tomorrow. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on Horsepower Hour tomorrow night. Peace. Peace out, Big E. Peace out, Jackson. Peace out, G-Man. Peace out. Respect my co's. And then peace out, Hydromo. And then anybody else I'm forgetting? Oh, yeah, Bo Leavin Nix. Cool to see him. Yeah, T Fishes said I missed you. I'm about to get off, literally. But yeah, man, I also subbed to you. I want you to start your fishing channel again because your stuff's good. Like, I would definitely watch and support. All right, that's us for me now. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.